So let's take a look at graphing a hyperbola centered at HK. So the directions do say to graph, and then it also says to find the foci. So center, let's just take a look first at that. For my center, this is my H. I always look for the X, and that's going to be with the H, and the Y is going to be with the K. So I'm going to have the minus belongs to the formula, so I'm going to have the center is at 3, 1. So I'm going to put that here. There's my center. Now that's actually the center of what we call the something rectangle or something like that. I can't even remember. Standard rectangle, fundamental rectangle. So there's a rectangle surrounding the center. And of course the center is at the center of the rectangle. So the rectangle is made up of distances from the center of A and B. So let's go up and find our distances of A and B. Now I look for the positive term. There's the positive term. That's going to be my transverse axis. So this right here is my A squared. And A is 3. So that means that from the center, and by the way, this is horizontal, right? It's a horizontal orientation because the positive one is with the X. So we're going to have the center, and then we're going to go out 3 to the right, put a little mark, and out 3 to the left and put a little mark. Those are my boundaries for my fundamental rectangle. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at this. This is my B squared. It's 25, so B is 5. So from the center, I'm going to go up and down 5. Up and down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my upper boundary. 2, 4, 5, down. My lower boundary. Now I'm going to make a basic, lightly with your pencil if you're drawing, if you're working in pencil. So I'm using a light color. Now I'm ready to place my isotopes. Now my isotopes are not actually the hyperbola. It's not actually part of the drawing, but it is part of the guideline that we need. They are part of the guidelines. So we're going to put those on as accurately as we can. Let me keep going. Definitely keep your guidelines going. I'm going to bring this down a bit. Let's keep that going out. And this. Now, so let's see. The next thing that we need to do is to, again, remember that this is going to be oriented horizontally because of the positive X. So that means that my hyperbola needs to be drawn from right here. Now careful, we're not going to go down to the x-axis. Okay, the vertices for the hyperbola itself are here, and they're going to smoothly approach, as best I can, smoothly approach that isotope, and smoothly approach this isotope, again on this side, smooth. And it's going to get ever closer and closer to the isotope, even though mine looks like it's touching, it shouldn't touch. So there's that. Now let's find the foci. Here we go. So we have c squared. C squared is consistently the distance from the center to the foci in an ellipse and a hyperbola. So we have 9 plus 25. We have c squared is 34. We have c is the square root of 34, positive because we're taking distance, and that is 5.8. So we're going to go out. Make the foci up. We'll make them black. We're going to go out 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.8. There's one focus. 3. Now remember, we're counting from the center out 5.8. From the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.8. And there's my other focus. Okay, now let's name the foci, which is probably really the hardest thing here because we have a square root, but we can figure it out. So for the foci, whatever however you want to call it. So we're going to go over 3, right? We're going to over 3 because that's how we get to the center, but we're going to go in addition to that, right? The amount from the center, we're going to go, whoops, pardon me, I didn't mean to put that, I'll put a plus, plus the square root of 34. Now that's going to get us to this focus right there, and then we need to, or it's going to get us even with it, and we need to go up 1. All right, there's that focus. Now let's take a look at this one here. The other one is take a 3, and we're going to subtract the square root of 34, and then we're going to go up. Now, again, when you do these that are maybe not quite as intuitive, when you mess with these that are like negative directions and things, you should actually plug the numbers in and see if it makes sense. So I'm going to say 3 minus 5.8. That's negative 2.8. And is that the distance that I'm going when I start from the origin, right? That's how I plot a point. I would go negative 2.8, and then I would go up 1, and that would definitely check with my drawing, and it would check with my algebra that I've done. So here are my foci, and here are my parts of my hyperbola. Okay, let's see if that's all that we were supposed to do. Find the foci and graph it. That's it. Thanks for watching.